Hey everyone, Evayr here to explain how mods work with Skyrim Together. I'll be trying to keep it as simple as possible so that everyone can understand the concept of what's going on behind the scenes. Mods can be divided in multiple sections, using FormIDs, using prepared scripting, SKSE mods, external C++ programming, and combat interaction. To start off with FormIDs, the server is just a simple transport layer. This means that what goes in is eventually being forwarded to other players. The server itself doesn't know anything about Skyrim, and we cannot make it either. This is mainly because it will require us to reverse engineer the entire game or somehow manage to obtain the source code. So for now, every bit of content you see in the game is either hosted by you or somebody else. Say you walk around a riverwood, the only information you will be sending is the form IDs related to NPCs and other objects nearby. Every message you send to the server has specific context, so we know what it's being used for. This is for the server to manage data and prevent cheating or miscommunication. These messages can be, for example, about spawning, movement, combat, animations, and a lot more. To give an example, say we have two players called Rubber Ducky and Stealth Archer. Rubber Ducky has Beyond Skyrim Rumor mod installed, which allows him to wear unique armor specifically created by that mod. Let's say Stealth Archer doesn't have this mod installed. Rubber Ducky then went to Bruma and bought some new armor for himself before meeting up with Stealth Archer. Once they get together, both players receive information about each other from the server. This is information like their appearance, clothing, race, gender, equipped weapons, inventory, and some more. Since Rubber Ducky has content that Stealth Archer doesn't have, there's obviously a problem. The Skyrim game itself will check in the library, so to say, to find this content, but will be unable to find any results. We are solving these kind of problems by ignoring the messages, making Rubber Ducky appear naked on Stealth Archer's screen. This makes it easy for the game not to crash out, as there's nothing and no reason to crash in the first place. It may look a little bit awkward, but at least you will still be able to play the game. This is not limited to NPCs, cells, animations, objects, and more. Some events require specific objects that is referenced in the mod. Basically, if we cannot find it, it will not exist. NPCs will not be spawned, handles cannot be seen or interacted with, and cells cannot be traveled to. As for load orders, they don't really matter in Skyrim Together. Every form ID, which is used to reference and spawn anything in the world, consists out of a mod ID and base ID. For example, Alva has a base ID of 000134475. You can use this ID to spawn them into the world. The first two digits in this base ID, the 00, is the mod ID. Say Alva came from a different mod with ID 12, which is generated based on load order, this base ID will then be 120134475. When connecting to a server in Skyrim Together, we synchronize the mod list that the player have installed together with their corresponding mod ID. This allows us to magically translate the mod ID from one person to another. So if the player wants to reference Alva from mod ID 00 to 12, we simply change the base ID before forwarding it to the player. The base ID can then be found and synchronizations can then continue to happen. Native scripting can be supported as long as it's in Papyrus. These scripts can call official Skyrim functionality in the game, which we can catch for events. Say you have a Papyrus script that casts 10 fireballs around you as a spell, then our mod will be able to catch this event and forward it to other players. However, if these fireballs are unique content that is part of the mod, then people who do not have this mod will not be able to see the fireballs. Here it applies again, what cannot be found will not exist. External programming, like using SKSE, will be a lot more difficult to synchronize, as they can have events that do not exist in the vanilla game. Because of this, we are unable to detect these events and synchronize them over the network. For example, you can have the camping mod where you can spawn tents and freeze to death. The spawning of tents is not really a vanilla function, so therefore we cannot catch this event and synchronize it. For all the other players, including players who have the same mod, no tent shall be spawned. We do plan on making an API for the developers of SKSE mods, so you can send and receive events and variables. This API will be worked on after release, so we can focus on the vanilla game first. In combat we only synchronize health changes, which can be damage or healing, and death events. You can install different types of mods, like skill tree overhauls, to modify your damage output, and it will still be synchronized. In case you kill the target, native Skyrim functionality will then be called, which allows us to catch it and synchronize it. As for a summary, there is a very high chance that mods created with the Skyrim creation kit will work flawlessly, regardless of load order. SKSE mods might not be fully synchronized, but shouldn't cause crashes either. We're planning to make an API after release when everything's stable and patched up. Thank you for watching this video. If you still have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoy this type of content and subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, goodbye.